this. It's like, hey, Isaac, you're supposed to be playing. Why is my bitrate shit on Twitch? Hey, Twitch. Hey, Twitch. Tell me about the bitrate, Twitch. I'm still eating a little bit. I'm eating cake right now, so. Come on, pineapple buddy. Trying to cut up some pineapple. I should at least give you the stream. Hold on. Where is it? Hey, there it is. Look, there's a stream. You see it? Now you can see the game window. Look at that. While I eat a little bit, I just want one more bite of my cake before I start, so. You can give me that. While you look at Banjo-Tooie. And listen to Minnesota Fats. Because you love Minnesota Fats. That's non-negotiable. You love Minnesota Fats. I fucked up and I'm making a mess now. Okay. Alright. Look, here we are. We're back at it. Oh, for some reason the audio was muted. Glad I saw that now instead of later. So I've switched to Project 64 1.6 as a heads up. Just so we all know. Yeah, Pine Grove. I want to go back to Witchy World. Because I'm pretty sure it's Witchy World. Few totals. Yeah, I'm missing one. Yeah, it's gotta be in here. I'm missing a lot of cheat sheets. And jiggies. But then again, I haven't really done too much in Witchy World. For the most part, all it was nope collection. Okay, let me see if I can remember how to do all the burger stuff. Gosh, how's everybody's night going? I hope everybody's night's going well. Pro dodge. Pro dodge. Okay, so there is a child over in the bumper cars. I know that. There's one over there. I think she wanted fries. Hey, bud, can I have some fries? I'm a busy guy. Yeah, I want that. Oh, sorry, dude. Hey, dude, talk to me. I want the fries, dude. Where's the activation part? So I can talk to- there we go. Give me some fries, Joe. knew he would say that. Yeah, give me the fries. Oh, thank you so much for putting them in my skull. You're all out. Alright, later, dude. I always hated those slot machines. Always hated them. I don't think they're slot machines. I get they look like slot machines, at least. Hey kid. Wow, you've got fries. Yes, you can have some. Will you give me some food? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, kid. You can have some food. Gulp. God, just push me over. There's still another 2 to find though. Okay. I can find the 2. That'll be easy peasy. Cause I know one of them is in the space zone. And another is in the flame zone. I think I need a burger for space? I could be wrong. Oh yes, it's open again. Oh yeah. Read me my fortune. Madam Grunty. Okay. Look at that luck. I wish I had that much luck in gacha games. But my luck in gacha here lately has been bad. And I know it's nothing to do with luck. It's all chance. Fancy a burger? Big Al sells the tastiest burgers in Witchy World. How on earth did she get a job in catering? Not sure really. I used to clean out the toilets. Lost my appetite all of a sudden. Go on, give them a try. I've got a few left. Do you want them? Yeah, sure. Give me some burgers, Al. You want fries with that? Oh, yes, please. Well, too bad. Burgers is all I got. Gusty Salty Joe. I've got no more burgers left. Better root around for some more. I think one's under your left foot. Where? I can't see it. Okay. Let's go here. I'll also do the star spinner while I'm here. Might as well. Hopefully I don't get sick. I'm gonna get sick on the star spinner. Where was the kid? Oh wait, the kid was not in the star spinner. Oh well, I'll do it. I'll do it anyway. Playing dangerous game here. Okay. Oh, I don't like this. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Hello, Elizabeth. You're tired? Hey, hopefully I can make you awake. So then you can sit here and scream at all my mistakes in Banjo-Tooie. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got it. Hey, everybody. Got him. Got him. Need another piece of cake. It's mostly just crumbs. Making a fucking mess. More like Banjo Poopy. I love this game. I love this game to bits. I will never insult this game. Never. You will never hear me say a bad thing about this video game. It feels as good as to play as it did as a child. It's even holding up real well too. Which is shocking because I was very scared that it would not hold up. Yeah, I did. Later, dude. Okay, kid, did you want burger? This fair is so much fun, I'm not going back to mother, and there's nothing you can do to make me. Just... I'm off to find my mom and she'll tell my dad. You never beat Tui and you really don't remember it, sadly. That's fine. I know some people are like Kazooie more to begin with and don't like Tui that much. And that's fair, honestly. That's alright. I just have more fond memories with Tui than I do Kazooie. Simply like for the like 2-player alone. Gosh, a 2-player was just absolute chaos. Abuse. Yeah, I know, right? I just beat the heck out of the kid, and horribly enough, that was like my first reaction. That was the first thought that went into my head, was just run over this child. Just go beat the child up. But yeah, the absolute chaos that was the 2nd player, or 2-player, well, multiplayer, you can have up to 4 players. Just the multiplayer, fuck off. The multiplayer was just absolute chaos with me and my family. Cause, God, one of our controllers, the Z buttons doesn't work anymore. Hey kid. Thank goodness you came. I'm really hungry. Don't you think you've had enough? No way. I just need a burger before I go find my mom. Oh, you've got some burgers. Please, please, can I have one? Will you give me some food? Don't even remember multiplayer. Multiplayer wasn't in Kazooie, but it was in Tui. Are you okay, kid? You're looking a little full, shall we say. My tummy hurts. Please carry me back to mom. I can't stand up. I'm not surprised. I think I have to be either Kazooie or Banjo. I know I have to split up. You need a burger too? I don't. I ate a sandwich. I ate a club sub before streaming. Okay, I think I need Kazooie because Kazooie usually carries around the bear, right? Hey. Please take me to my mom. I'm too fuddled. Okay, I guess I gotta swoop him up in the back. I don't think I know that yet. Do I? I don't know. I guess this kid will never go home. This kid will fry here. That's a horrible thing to say about this kid. Hey kid. I thought I could run a little faster. Okay. Was it, yeah, I guess I can't take him just yet. Yeah, I can't pick him up. Okay. Unless I need to be the car and I just carry him around in the car, but I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, well. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I hate that fucking fart noise. Speaking of fart noises, though, I want to play Glover as well. Remember the cheat code system in Glover? Oh no. gonna. Oh lord. I knew I wasn't gonna make it. But yet, I still continued. Hey, Banjo? Hey, Banjo. Why'd you move? Banjo, my man. Listen to these feet prints. You hated that game growing up? I loved Glover to bits. Glover was my game. One of them at least. I messed up. Okay. I'm freaking messed up, everybody. Ow. Here we are. Oh, Kazooie? Kazooie? I got scared. She's going a little too far. I can just like go all the way down, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, landed in, almost landed in the lava. Hey, Kazooie, why can't you just do the flame breath? Kazooie, you should be able to peck and do the flame breath without Banjo. God, Banjo looks so ominous back there. I don't like that. Of course that happened. Of course I fall in the lava. Dragon Kazooie should not take fire damage. That's just my opinion. And it's a good opinion. Okay. Oh, speed button. Let's see. Wamba. I need you to turn me into a car. Please turn me into a car. That's my dream. My dream. Wamba. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the stream. Everybody, I'm living it. You're excited to get your computer on Tuesday. VR streams galore. Oh, yes. I cannot wait. I need that. That's what it's called. I need your VR streams. Because the VR, what is it? Fuck. VR chat, that's what it is. VR chat was really fun. I enjoyed that. Hey kid. Sorry about bumps, I don't know what to- Alright, okay, so that is not the solution. I can't remember what the solution for that was. I think it's just because I don't have it. I think I have to have another move. Now if I can remember where Jam Jars is on this level. The other Jam Jars. There's 3. Maybe even 5. Okay, Wamba, turn me back into bear, I guess. Oh, please. Pineapple, you gotta cut. This pineapple, I expected it to cut before that cutscene got over. So then I could eat a piece of cake without anybody realizing it. But, that was the nastiest cut. Okay. Give me the tent, dude. I'm tempted to just get a walkthrough open. Cause I'm not really playing this for a new experience. And it's just because I want to do this. Michael is hosting me. You're here and ready to not do your job. I'm ready to get tied up by the ape. Let me in. Bruh, I hate the activation triggers in this video game. Very good. Okay, sorry, but I can't let you in if you don't know how to fire eggs in the air. But that's rubbish. We know how to aim eggs. Not in the air, we know. That's right. Come on, let's go find jam jars again. Oh, Space Zone. Oh, thank you. Thank you, dude. That was helpful. I gotta look at the Space Zone a little better. Okay, Space Zone is this way. Oh yeah, there's that upper part. That's right, there's an upper part. I hate how the, I guess cash register AI is. Because it like predicts your movement. And it's the only, like, it's one of the few AIs that do it. Look at that pain juice. Is there a ginger up here? No. Oh, yeah. I knew it! Look at Space Zone. How the fuck do I get up there again? That may not even be where I need to be. Oh, I just completely missed out on you, dude. Airborne Air Gaming. Okay. Okay, it gives me the aiming sight. Press C to shoot from height. Okay, thank you. That'll be all. Thank you. Alright, now we can go in the tent. We can go to the big top now. Finally, I can be a clown. I never get to be a clown. Man, I gotta say, speaking of clowns, every time I see anything that looks like just resembles Kameda, I go, oh my god, that's Kameda. Kameda's a fucking clown. That's my hot take of the night. You only get one hot take per night, and that's it. Yeah, I have Monkey Boy. Thanks, dude. I hate this lump. I hate this lump. This boss? I hate this boss. I wonder who, like, whose lives was changed because of that. Like Patches? I wonder whose lives Patches changed. Oh yeah? Well, how about this then? Oh. Here's your inflation fetish, everybody. I'm about to suck all that air out. I'm supposed to think you're clever, don't you? Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet. I do. Essence of battle coming on. If you insist. I probably don't even need to do the air stuff. Wait, yeah, there's one on top of his head, isn't there? Okay. Okay, Okay, I already have max on that. Where is the flight pad? There it is. I think, yeah, maybe. Thank you. I was not sitting up straight, you're right. Where in the world is the flight pad? Oh wait, I'm supposed to do it on the ground first and foremost, that's right. Oh, you found a weak spot. Looks like I might need some help here. Have to beat me. Yeah, that's why we can't do it on the air. I can't believe I missed. Hey, Patches. Hold on, I gotta back up. Yeah, getting the one on your ass too, dude. I didn't mean to get so low, by the by, everybody. Oh my god! What are you doing? Yeah, that's okay. Hurting myself is fine in the end. Just in the end, it's fine. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I was about to be like, hey. Where's that last one? I know I've got two more, but there was another one on- oh, okay, it's on this side. These fucking pro strats, dude. I'm close enough to the air for those things to pop- or close enough to the ground for those things to pop up. Look at that, got him. Yeah, deflate. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble. Uh-oh. I want to know whose lives was changed because of this. Huh, Rare, what'd you do? There's a minigame. There's a bumper cart minigame. I don't think I want to do the bumper cart minigame here. So we'll go to Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Cause let me check the totals real quick. Yeah, open it up. 5 out of fucking 10? I think for one of these I have to do- well, there's a few out of these that I have to go to other worlds to finish them up, so. Like Glitter Gulch Mine is one of them. And there's another that I can't think of right now. Banjo. Oh my god, camera, can you not move while I'm doing all this? Oh yeah. There's also suction cup shoes that I don't have the ability to use. So, oh, I missed that. I missed that, okay. This should be safe enough to stand by. Oh, Janice, hosted me! Yeah, I just missed that the first time I was up there. Okay. Oh yeah, I wasn't up this one. I was up on the other one. Ha 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 ha. Got myself. Played myself the fool. Okay. A little bit farther out. Is this good enough? Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, now I have a power high. Hey, Banjo. Banjo? Pretty sure there's an easier way to get up here. I don't know if I can reach that. I think this is just gonna be like, hey, you're gonna slip off no matter what. Oh no, okay. Bruh, you're in front of- you're fucking in front of the camera, bud. I'm gonna blame that on him. I'm gonna blame that on the little weasel. On the gay rat. Sorry, rat. Blaming it on you, dude. It's you. Like, look at that. You don't just have an earring. Just one earring in your right ear, bud. Gay cowboy rat. I'm anxious because this camera angle. What a noise! I don't know where that one came from. That one's new. That was a new noise. Yeah, come over here, son. Yeah, I need that honeycomb. Thank you. Because I will do this. I promise you that I'm going to do this. That's a promise. Wrong button. Or I held it down a little too long. Okay. Oh no. Oh well. Yeah, no, I already know the skill stop. Got him. Pro gamer. Hear that, everybody? Pro gamer. Okay. Okay, so now you grab on the ledge, huh? Grab on the ledge then. Hey, Banjo. Sorry, Banjo, I love you, dude. But that first time you didn't grab on the ledge and it kind of did piss me off. Can I just get on it normally now and it just... Please, I just want to get on it normally. I just want a fun ride. Press speed to experience speed. Keep a card right across the space zone. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Fuck yes, dude. Look at this. Scenic. Terrifying. Look, did you see how it just transitioned into the metal? Look at this. I'm pro gamer. Look at that. hold on. This one's not as easy to get up to. Hey bud, why are you harder to get to? Here we go, jeez. It took me a bit. Oh, there's no power, okay. Yet. No power yet. I will power this place up. That's a threat. You fell asleep briefly? Bro, go to sleep. Hey, can't you read for... I don't have anything on me, I don't think. Play VR chat with you on stream one day. I will. I downloaded VR chat. I haven't done anything with it though. I'd have to open it up and see about that stuff. So it'd be a brand new experience for me. Oh yeah, the rocks. Do you think I could? Or do you think I'm just gonna get stuck? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get through there, huh? Damn, okay, can't get in there. What a shame. I will teach you Blender so you can make a custom model. I'll teach it to you. Live on stream. Seth educates. Nobody learns anything that day. It's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to get to first and foremost because there is kind of a learning curve as far as like actually knowing the program and its shortcuts and all that. But after a while it just starts becoming natural, just like, you know, everything else. I learned it in high school because I wanted to make video games. And then they removed the video game portion of the thing, of the program, so I can't make video games with it anymore. Unless I use a previous version. Hey ma'am, I know where your kid is, but I don't know how to pick him up. Ma'am, I wish you were single. You need to learn Unity on top of Blender. Yeah. Yeah. Which I've got some books for learning Unity, I just need to fucking read them. I gotta get off my ass and read them. That's what it's going down to right now for me. Actually, I don't want to go here. I want to go look around a little bit more. I want to go back to Wooden Hollow because there is a few things. Like, we never talked to Bottle's wife in Child. We never talked to them. Ooh. Oh, hey, kid. Hey there, Banjo. Hi, Specky. He and my dad are going to be playing in the big kickball tournament next week over at the main stadium. Ging Jingling has organized this especially for my dad. He's such a hero. I don't suppose you have any substitutes? Why would we need substitutes? My dad is the best on the team. I'm sure he was, and did you know that tunnel over there is my secret way out of the village? You might find it useful. We already know that. King Dingling is a personal friend of ours. Opened it up especially for us. Nice. Isn't Bottles fucking dead? Yeah. Yeah. Hey. 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 Bruh. Bruh, Bottles, your kid. Bruh, Bottles, your kid's got anime ass on his wall, bruh. Bottles, bruh. Bottles, bruh, your kid. Hello, Manu. Hi, Goggles. Thank you and Daddy are such a good friends. I'll give you these prototypes of classes he's working on. Did he finish working on them? By any chance? Oh yes, I believe they're called the Mazel Gates classes. Well, when evangelized me with you, zoom in and out. Not bad. And watch this. Just obliterate this Donkey Kong child. Jet Force Gemini. Yeah, right? I played a little bit of it, but unfortunately I'm a baby when it comes to first-person shooters of any type. I didn't get too far into it. I think it was a first-person shooter anyway. Point being, I didn't get too far into it. Hello, Bottle's wife. Hello there, Banjo. How are we today? Pretty good, Miss Bottles. Yourself? Oh, fine, fine. Tell her about Ghosty Boy. Keep quiet, Tazooie. What was that? Is Bottles okay? He should be back from Spiral Mountain for his dinner soon. He never misses his dinner, you know. I'm sure he'll be back soon, Miss B. It controls like ass. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's the only thing I can remember from that game is the bad controls. Fun back in the day. Oh, I bet back in the day it was a lot better. Unfortunately, I didn't play it back in the day. I played it like... What the fuck? Miss Bottles. Who is this? Mrs. Bottles, is this the third son that we've been told about? Who's this son? What's this kid's name? Alright, Miss Bottles. Hope you and your 3 kids have a good day. Hey! No, talk to me. Say, for example, that your dad had been terminally zapped by an evil witch's spell. How would you react? I don't understand. What do you mean? Oh, nothing. What about the baby? Jerry, that's Jerry? There was a third character in Jet Force Gemini, wasn't it? Like a dog, like a space dog? The space dog would be in Jerry's room. You kid. No, talk to the kid, Banjo. Oh, the Mazel Gates glass is working, bro. I'm sure my daddy will be able to fix them if they're broken. But can't anyone fix Daddy? Why does he need fixing? Or Kazooie means your mom is just fixing up his dinner. Oh, that's alright then. I was afraid you meant he'd been blasted by an evil spell or something. Oh. Yeah, dog. With jet boots. Remember enough, at least. Yeah, the dog would be in Jerry's room. Just a fun facto. Was there something here? Yeah, there it is. Here it is. The big egg! What's behind here? Suitable eggs may be found closer to home than you think. What does that mean? What does that mean, Jam Jar? Click egg in the hen. Click find special egg. Okay. Got no special eggs yet. Afraid not. Higgy got one, but can't reach it, so you must hatch. Okay, is there a pad nearby? Oh, there is. Okay. It's okay, Kazooie's a dragon, so this egg will be cooked. It'll be cooked by the time we're done. Hey, remove the eggs. Just kidding. Hey. Oh yeah, isn't this like a move that you have to learn? You can't just do this. Is there really a move that a Kazooie has to learn? Or can I just destroy the egg? Am I allowed to just destroy the egg? The stop and swap egg. We're getting rid of it. Okay, well, I don't have the move yet, I guess. Unless I legitimately have to fucking sit up there for 5 hours. I ain't doing that tonight. Tonight is not egg night. Sorry to say, everybody. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's not egg night, though. I know, I'm so sorry. I think we have enough. And I would like to find out where that saucer is. Cause, brain bag. Bad. Can I do this? Hold on. Fuck. Okay, so is... Got it! Okay, there it goes. I got it that time. Fuck yes, dude. Yo! I'm gonna try that. Hey, I'm gonna practice that. Hey! Hey, my frames dropped. Did it drop right as I did that? Cause it looked like it dropped right as I did that. Perform that sick move. I'm a honeybee. I'll trade you extra energy units for empty honeycombs. You have enough honeycombs for 1 extra energy unit. Do you want to trade? Yeah, I do. Sure, honey. Toss your honeycombs over here, then, Big Bear. Alright. Here's your extra energy. Thanks. 7? Okay, I can go get 7. I wonder who got horny for the bee whenever they saw her. I'm wondering a lot of things tonight. Okay, let's go find out where I need to be. I know it's not up there. No! I didn't need- yeah. I was like, please, I didn't mean to do that. It's not in there, because that's where Canary Mary was. Was it near here? And I don't have spring shoes, so I can't get that. Bum, ba-dum, bum. No, this is toxic gas cave. I love how there's a cave just for the toxic gas. Anything that goes through the grinders will come out in pieces, including jiggies. Okay, well I've already done that. Thank you though, Jam Jars. Thank you, Jam Jars, for teaching us a lesson. Yeah, check out the rules panel. Thank you. Thank you, my bot using my account. I wanted to kill Marion once and for all. I couldn't stop her though. God, they couldn't stop her. I think this is just the water cavern. Can I actually go anywhere? Like, I know that area right there, but we've already done that. I like how all the areas are interconnected though. It's nice. I really feel like it'd be a lot easier for me just to go to Jolly Roger's Bay to get up there. And just go down that way. I wish they did kill Mary. I'm so sorry, everybody. I really wish they killed Canary Mary. I do not like her. I don't think anybody likes Canary Mary. I'm so sorry, Canary Mary. What the hell is this? Is this where I need to be? Is this the place I'm thinking of? Okay, well it's not, but it's one of the places I was trying to be at. Okay. Fuck. You're the only reason she got out. You're right. You're damn right, and I hate that. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know what I'm looking for anyways in here, so. Waterfall Cavern, there we are. We found it, everybody. Waterfall Cavern. Boom, 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 boom. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna shit. Hey everybody, I'm about to fucking... I'm alright. Game fucking crashed on me. Game crashed on me. I hit the fucking water. That's all it took, was hitting the water. Almost dropped my phone. Bruh. Bruh. Almost lost his phone. Hold on. Did it save me trading that thing in? Yes, it did. Okay. Wait, shit, no! Chose the wrong option, everybody. Yet again! Hey everybody, I need to stop spacing out. Like, I saw my man Mumbo and it was just like, yeah, Mumbo. Yeah, I love Mumbo. Mumbo Jumbo's my favorite. I need to go to the B place, though. Lord. I'm having a time. Okay. Alright, we're here. Okay. It's outside the crusher. Bum bum. I hate this mine so much. They did bad on this. This mine's not great. Think about it. They got a fucking flooded cave in here. It's not a great mine. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, can I get a yeah in chat? Oh, did I go the wrong way? Whee! Bum, bum, bum. Ugh. So what kind of chaos are we gonna get into today, everybody? Give me the deets, the details. I need them here now. If anybody's getting into chaos, legally you have to tell me about the chaos. Oh lord, hey, the camera needs to figure itself out. Nothing up there. Hey, old man. Eh? Ah. Might be. Ah, I'm Bill. Yeah, the name is gold related. What is it? Gold Bar Bill? Klondike Bill? Nope. Bowling Bill's my name. Not so. What's up, Bill? My rodent partner, Dilberta, went looking for gold, but she been gone for far too long. We'll give a lookout for her. Not so fast, Banjo. Make sure he makes it worth our while. Oh, okay. Hey, can we have a prize if we find her? You just said it for like, I wonder where she could be. Hey, the game needs to okay. I came in through a tunnel. Oh yeah, I can go do that, can't I? Oh, God, what a sad state to live in, dude. Oh man. At least you have a picture of you and your wife. Hey, why are you doing this? Hey, video game? Why do you keep crashing? Hey, video game, why do you keep video crashing? Why are you suddenly crashing here in Glitter Gold Schwein, huh? This sucks. Let me play the game. I didn't come all this way just to reset the game 5 times. If I wanted to reset the game constantly because it crashed, I'd be playing Fallout 4 right now, okay? Or Minecraft with like 200 mods. One of the two. It depends on the mood, really. I guess we'll go help Dilberta. Yeah, thanks. Here we are, everybody, we're going in. I may have to change my plugins too. God, that would suck. Actually, it'd be better than having to switch back to the newest version, because the newest version ain't great. Hey Dilberta, watch this. Fucking sick, eh? Thanks very much for unblogging my method. It's worth a jiggy. Hand it over, you plague-ridden pest. Eek! You want to come and see my master Bill about that? Oh! Hey, didn't Bill say that was his wife or something? Wasn't that it? Hey, I don't want no kink stuff on my stream. On my Banjie stream, I say, as I've talked about a lot of kink stuff in this Banjie stream. My rodent partner Dilberta is still missing. Funny you should say that. I had another look around and managed to find her. Here she is now. Hi honey, I'm home. Dilberta, is that really you? I'm so happy you found my Dilberta. Take this pretty little gold nugget as a reward. Hey, Wee! Hey, why'd you call him master? Hey, why'd you admit that to me? Hey, why'd you admit that to me? Thanks again, partner. Wee! Hey, Jacob, you missed it. These two are husband and wife, and Dilberta there, the little rodent, said that Bill was her master. I was letting cookies bake and then finish. Are they good? You also missed the inflation boss. Chocolate chunks, so they're good. God, I want some chocolate chunk cookies too. You're glad you missed the inflation boss. Yeah, you should be. I don't like that boss. That's like one of my least favorite bosses. Not for the inflation stuff, but that does like hurt it. It does deduct points on it. Oh yeah, that's not a deal breaker or nothing. Hey, why are these here? Oh well. No, I want to be Kazooie.
I want to be Kazooie. Give me Kazooie.
Oh yeah, this is just so then I can turn the lights on despite the fact that I already got this. Let's go back downstairs, so anyway. Yeah, I think they wanted me to do this split up as Banjo and Kazooie, but I've already like done this before all that because I can see. I have fucking eyes, so I'm able to look. I'm able to look with my eyeballs. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine that, looking with your eyeballs? Damn. Alright, Banjo, we're coming back. Guh-huh? What's this say? Pressing control stick only slightly will make you tip to silently. Okay, we already knew that. Thank you though, Jamjar. You are a kind soul for putting up with me. I think it's this way. I do not recall. Okay, well I exited. I want to go down here. I want to go down there if I were you. There are bad things in there. I want to go in there. That's even more reason to go in there. Make it safe for the kids. I love how this just ends. I love that pressing the Z button makes him talk slow. I don't have anywhere for Chuffy. Can I go beat up Chuffy again? No, Chuffy doesn't want to see me again. Chuffy took one look at me. I was like, no, not again. Okay. Goodbye, Chuffy Scab. God, I wish I paid better attention while I was playing this game, because now I don't remember where the saucer is. It's just how that be, ain't it? You stop paying attention and it's like, well, I wish I did. Yeah, I was just in here. Damn. Damn. It's at the entrance. Hi. Hello, Marion. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Okay, so we gotta go back to the entrance. Thought it was over here somewhere. Okay. Was it over here? Shit. Woo! Whoop! No, it was not here. Fuel storage. Okay. I'll have to remember where fuel storage is. Ray! What is this? Oh, fuel storage. It's right there! It's just right here. Have I really been missing it this whole time and it's... I hate myself. Okay, well, time to go turn into Dynamite Banjo. Lord. It was right there all along. Yeah! Oh well, I get to hear that yeehaw some more. Please let me in. Whee! Time to accidentally kill myself. Yeah. I don't know why you would go punch Dynamite. Like, I don't know, if I saw Dynamite bouncing around like this, I would probably be like, gonna ignore that. Don't like that. I'm gonna pay that no mind. Oh, is there anything in the water? Is this just water? This is just water, okay. Hey there, bud. I'm about to free you. Oh my god. Guess what it did? Okay, well, I gotta reset yet again. Everybody. I may have to switch back to the recent version, because this isn't great. This isn't fun. Crash simulation is for Fallout 4 and Fallout 4 only, alright? I'm gonna play Fallout 4 on my dedicated CPU, everybody, and Welcome to my crash percent run. First things first, we're going to go all the way to the sequence where you and your wife plateau. Sorry. I can't do the joke while I'm trying to pay attention. Where you go into the vault and you wake up halfway in the vault and you see the people kidnap your son and kill your wife. That's the crash. I don't know if anybody's played Fallout 4 here, but in Fallout 4 Fallout 4 I'm so sorry, just Fallout 4. There's a sequence at the start, very start of the game, okay? So this ain't spoilers or anything. But basically, at the very start of the game, you go into a cryo chamber and, you know, halfway in the cryo chamber process, you wake up to somebody kidnapping your son and killing your wife or husband if you chose to be a girl. But basically, they kill your spouse and kidnap your son, and right there it just soft locks. They walk off. The people who kidnap your son just walk off. And the game freezes. And that's even without mods, clean installation, and everything. I don't know why that is. Up-to-date version, clean install, everything brand spanking new, but it just does that. And apparently that's a common occurrence. I don't know how to fix it. Like, I'm aware that you could just be like, okay, skip the quest and do that, but then you like miss some stuff. It's like, great. Look at you go, dude. Look at you go. Goodbye, dude. You're in a cryo storage. What did you expect? Just being able to leave? Well, yeah, I expected the game to run. Oh, that's a good noise. That was a good noise. God, that made me so upset though. Hey, Fallout 4 is one of the games I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered Fallout 4 because I was excited for it, and guess what? Guess what? Guess who's unhappy? Why am I... Whatever. Whatever. Okay, Wamba. I'm tired of living this way. Wamba, why did you make me like this? Wamba, why did you do this to me? Hot bear and birds here. Time to turn them into an explosive. You're just a detonator. You shouldn't be able to blow up like that. Nah, it's also TNT. This sucks. Hey Banjo, how come she did that to you? Yeah. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go play the space game. Pretty sure this is a space game. I absolutely love how the Clutter Gulch mine, the little western mine shaft, goes to this. Saucer Apparel is currently closed due to lack of power. You're joking me. You are joking me. Can I get in anyway? No, just face through. You've gotta be joking me. Do I have to do power too? Okay. It's just an easier way to get up here, I guess. I want to know an easy way to get up to here, though. Sadly. Oh well. Yeah, it would have to be in here. Maybe I did miss something with Mumbo. If I did, it's fine because I like being Mumbo. Gosh, it's just... Hey there. It's making me think of people who get upset at others for playing their favorite character in fighting games. Yeah, there's no more Mumbo's place for this one. So it'd have to be elsewhere. Love that crystal texture. I've already done that. Can't even remember what the saucer game is. I'll be honest. I don't even remember what it was. And it can't have been the have to do anything with the cash car. Let's do first person shooter mode. FPS mode, baby. It may have been up there and I just completely missed it. It's up there, isn't it? It's up there. It's okay. Or maybe back in Area 51. Can I get to Area 51 right now? Or am I too short? Chiggy Watts. Yeah, I'm too short. Shit. And this isn't... This is just a texture. Another texture. Damn. Bleh. Wait, hold on. Come here. Let me get rid of you real quick before I do this so then you don't mess everything up. Yeah, there we go. Remember that one now. Here is Area 51. Oh man, I don't have that ability yet. Can I do that trick? I think you're a little too far away for me to actually do this. Let me... There's a place. Yeah, there he is. Look at that. Fortunately, it's too small for me to stand on. Banjo climate. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about, Banjo. Okay. Well, I came up here without actually looking what I was wanting to do, I'll be honest. Shit. Damn. Damn. What's the point of being able to climb those? Like, I get it for right over here. I guess it's just because this one's climbable, so they made the other ones climbable too. To give you a hint, maybe. Like, oh hey, you climbed that one. Guess what? They're all climbable. Even that one next to this beginning. Oh lord. Could not see. I was not focusing. I gotta get better into the game, dude. Gotta get a little higher. I want them notes. Jam Jar is gonna give me something very special if I 100% all the notes. I need Jam Jar special. Winky face. Jacob would kill me in real life for that. Are you kidding me? There was a pad down there that I didn't even realize. I was doing this the hard way this whole time. This whole damn time. For Jam Jar special, wink wink. I need to 100% this. I'm joking, by the way. I'm not gonna 100% this game. It's not gonna be right hell. I'm not gonna 100% the game. Hey, Mumbo. Yes, please. Roar. Thank you, Mumbo. Get out of here. Can't believe Mumbo just killed a man. Mumbo has an extensive, fucking rap sheet. Can't remember what it is. Mumbo's been to prison 15 times. That's a fact. A lot of it for fraud. Mumbo goes to jail for fraud ASMR. Okay, there it was. That was the ASMR, everybody. He is now in jail. Listen to them feet. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Mumbo. Will you get upset if you just leave? Bye, Mumbo. Mumbo leaves. He doesn't want to leave this world. Nasty men with loot skull. Oh my god. Hey, self-help tip of the day. Mumbo don't want to leave this world. Nasty men with There you go. There's a self-help tip from Mumbo himself. Why would you do this to me? Mumbo has 9 skulls in the island. So you're saying, so what you're telling me is 9 of his convictions, whatever, is because he murdered people? He's murdered 9 skulls. Murdered 9 skulls. Wow. Wow. Yeah, hey. I wonder what he had to kill for that. You mean his huts? Yeah, he's murdered 9 people for their skulls. So he can live in them. Why'd I go to Witchy World? I need to go into the other area. Yeah, this one. No, wait, not this one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, no, I didn't want to be here. Wait, yeah, I did. That's right, there's that place. Okay, I was thinking of the Inferno for whatever reason. No, I already know. We've already done this. I've already done it. I've already watched the Splendor. Characters of strength. Can't believe it just skipped the best cutscene. Yeah, just skip all that. Don't need all that. Hey dude, let me play the game. Come on board and ride the exciting saucer of barrel. Me. Yeah. There's no one this. I want to play the game. Okay, what do I do? When the crosshair appears, proceed to fire at the targets to score points. Blue targets are worth 3, green 2, and red only 1. To give you a chance, I'll give you some special eggs. Score 500 points to win first prize, or 400 points for the second prize. Leave. Oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh my god. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. This isn't very perilous. I'm having more fun than peril. I'll admit. I could have shot Al. Oh lord. That's the peril right there. Everybody. If I was doing this in VR, I would have puked. Like, I felt myself about to puke. I'll admit that. Jumbo. You can't jumbo. I love Banjo sitting in the little thing. In the saucer. Oh my god. No, no, no. Oh, please. Please. This is where the peril comes in whenever it's not upright. Cause I'm gonna puke. I'm about to puke. I should not have eaten before stream. was right under it, man. Oh well, time to do that again. Nice shooting. You win. You win. I'm right. Wait. Can't remember which voice. I'm not more right than give away, so why not write again for a better score? Wait. Yeah, I will write again. I will write again. Thank you. No, I gotta get the 500 because I got just below 500. I gotta shoot, but good. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't shoot as good as I should have. Okay, so I've got a better start to begin with, so hey, that's good. Better start already. Okay, I think that's also better than I did last time on this one. Shooting green more, blue more often. I am trying to hit everything I can with this poor controller. Okay. Oh no. Please let the nightmare end. All right. Okay, I already have 443. That is a good thing. That's a good sign. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it this time. I'm gonna shoot Polar Bear's wife. She's not here to shoot though, thankfully. She saw me coming and was like, no, 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 I ain't gonna deal with that. Not today. I gotta deal with my kids already. Hell yes, give me the golden prize. Why not write again to try and beat your best score, bleep? No, I'd rather not, I'm so sorry. I'd rather not right now. I don't think that's everything in here, but 6 out of freaking 10. Missing one in here as well. In a Jinjo. I know where I'm missing the Jinjo in Witchy World. But I'm trying to remember for Clutter Gulch mine. Thought I did everything, but I could, you know, miss something. Same with Mayhem Temple. Mayhem Temple, pardon. Oh well. Not like for real going after 100%. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the bumper cars thing. Get that over with. I don't like playing as car banjo. I just don't. You can do donuts. Want to do donuts? Yes, you do. Of course you want to do donuts. You don't want to grab that thing. Right, turn me into the car. And that is at the Inferno, but I'll go into the start of the level real quick so then I can grab that Jinjo. Which I think it would be easier to do this anyway. Do it this way anyway, so. Alright, there we go. Oh, I love seeing the Saucer of Peril from back there. I think it's this way? No, I went the wrong way for the Inferno. Wait, no I didn't. Haha. Right, here we go. See that? Pro moves. Pro moves. Wait. Wrong area. Wrong area. Pro moves mean nothing if you go the wrong area. Sorry, everybody. I think he was in here. If not, I'm gonna scream. I'm not actually gonna scream, everybody, don't worry. Boop, 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 boop. I thought it was in here. Oh my lord, it's in the space zone, isn't it? Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe this. Me sitting here like, I don't want to play the car. I gotta go fast. Hey, hold on. Yeah, what are you doing in here? I think you better leave. Alright. He just leaves, like, alright. Okay, you know, fair enough. Dodge him, Dome Lobby. I want to pay. Ride's now open. Bam, bam, bam. This sucks. I have to turn into Carbenjo to open up the ride, and then I have to leave. I don't know why I thought the bumper cars would be able to, like, be used with the car. Banjo's upside down. Yo, he's fucking upside down. Alright, back to the space zone. Space zone. No fire, space. I just need a little bit of space. I ain't got no fun stories this time around, unfortunately. None that I can think of. Dodgem Dome lobby. I think the most played multiplayer game on this cartridge was Leave our Dwingles alone. Was the shooting. Look at this. Can you believe this? Oh, not bad. You've been game 1 with 82 points. Yeah, I'll try your second challenge. Okay, challenge 2, everybody. Are we ready for challenge 2? It's 1v2. 2v1. Look at that Frogger. That's Frogger the Great Cuss.
Which one is the gas pedal?
Collect 50 points. Just 50, okay. Mark the bear. Oh my god. This is a little worse. Yeah, I kind of messed up on that one. Oh well. It's not like I'm hurting for points on this one. Yeah, third challenge ain't shit. 3 versus 1. I got it. Dodgem Dome lobby. I've got this. I've got this, everybody. I can do 50 points in 45 seconds. You're in where we're ramming this time, pal. Just evolving into fucking rusting at this point. I might as well just do the rest of the stream. 40 points. Okay. Oh no! I may not be able to do it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't do it this time. Gacha luck only goes so far. And none of it has to do with being in gacha. Oh, I did it. Yeah, hand it over. Hey, me, my jiggy. Gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme. Hold on, I'll do it in the rusty voice.
Gimme, gimme, come on, man. Come on, man, I need my jiggy, dude.
Still got it.
Well, we didn't do our session of D-Blues this week, so, I gotta make up somewhere. I gotta do the rusty voice sometimes, alright?
What else is there to do? Can't remember everything that needs to be done here. Got 7 out of 10. I got that thing in the Inferno, at the top of the Inferno. I still need to do the children, but I don't think I have the ability to do that. Because I can't carry the kid around. I don't have that unlocked with Banjo yet, so that's gonna be later. I need to get the train station open, but that's somewhere else. I don't know. We'll just leave. It's okay.
Alright. Oh god.
Oh god. I went with that one a little too fast. I did 0 prep for that one. Oh my lord, can I wanna leave? Here we go. I don't know, I did like no prep on that one.
Alright, everybody, this is Rusty here with another Let's Play.
I could do that voice for hours and hurt myself. I could just obliterate myself in 5 hours. I think my personal best is 8 hour though. Is that to Freezy Peak? Yeah. Not Freezy Peak. You know what I'm talking about. Duh peaks. The fire and ice zone. And I don't have anything for you just yet, Mumbo. Hey, none of these dudes have, like, tried to attack me thus far. This is messed up. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this over with. This one. Who knows? Maybe there's a Globo in his hut. I'm pretty sure there is, right? He just doesn't want to go downstairs and grab it. What's the son's of a bitch? That was such an unenthusiastic I've already thrown my voice out enough. I need to throw my voice out a little bit more. Hold on.
Alright, everybody, I'm gonna just kill my throat tonight. And so then we can end the stream a little early.
Oh, is there not a Globo in your house? I can still go look at you though. Hey dude. How does this feel, dude? Right up on your back, dude. I'm in the chair, dude. Just like a cat. Cats do the same damn thing, everybody. You'll be sitting, have some space behind you on the chair, and the cat will just be like, that's my space. .com. It's not what I wanted you to do. Yeah. Mamba, how'd you get the skull in there? How'd you lodge that in here? Maybe it's up here. Was it on the roof of this place? Oh, the graphics don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, everybody. 390, that's such a good number. A globo. Oh! They're coming after me. Ugh, I don't want them coming after me though. Man, Bottles, you gotta control your kids. You fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on, give me a moment. I'm gonna switch real quick. Why'd you get the Xbox game bar instead of the window? Oh well, I don't understand technology anyway. I say as I'm on my phone looking at technology while using techonology. Techonology. Can you believe it? Techonology. Right here at our fingertips, right here on my phone. That's me on my phone. Note, I am exaggerating. I wanna go back. I wanna go back. Yo. So where does Mumbo live? Like, live? Cause I imagine these just being like his shacks that he's got around places. Man. Are you okay? No, I know what that is. I know what it is, dude. Okay, so I already got that. Alright. Saved after grabbing that one. Okay. Because I don't know where it where it auto saves, so I gotta make sure. I just gotta make sure on these, so. You know how it is.
Alright, Mumbo, it's time. It's time, man. It's your turn. Hey, man, you gotta go open up the train station for me. Alright, can you do that for me? No, Mumbo, you gotta talk to Mumbo.
Lord. Yeah, dude. Of course I do. Whee! Yeah, Michael. Go for it. Go for it, dude. You're allowed to speak in this chat room. Finally, Mambo number 6. Alright, Mambo, do it. Oh. Is that what heal magic looks like? It looks like gray. Okay, so I gotta call the car over here whenever the dinosaur is here, that's right. But first and foremost, I need to figure out how to get the train into Witchy World. Oh well, we have Mumbo unlocked, so hey. I've unlocked a third-party character. Whoa. Mama, you said you don't want to leave the house often. Okay, dude. You don't want to leave this world. And Banjo wants to leave. He wants to go places. Well, excuse me. Jolly Roger Lagoon. Can I break this? No, I have to break this later. Okay. Pano's Emporium buy sell trade. I love you. I love you, Pano. For my speed circuit Banjie tazooie. So I stole him. I reckon 20 gold blooms would be a fair price. 20 doubloons? We only have that jiggy. Like a whole shop. Or want the jiggy, not the whole shop. I love Pano. Hey! Banjo, why'd you grab that? Can I do that again? Oh, the brim of the hat! It counts as an edge! Look at that! Figure new things out every day. Okay, so I need 20 doubloons. Gold ones, not silver ones. You fool. Okay, so I gotta remember how to get the balloons. I gotta go get paid, everybody. Oh hey, there's Mambo! Hey, there was some doubloons! Hey, more doubloons! This is a bloom. Only currency accepted in Jolly Roger's Lagoon. I just want to look at you, dude. Do your magic sun trick. I'm doing this because, well, I don't want to bother with the auction and stuff. And, like, it drives me nuts. Just thinking that, like, Mumbo can go hypothetically to any ocean that or body of water he wants to and just make it so that people can breathe underwater. He could just oxygenate the water. Can you believe this? I hate it. Mumbo, you are a... I hate you, Mumbo. I'm just kidding. I love you, Mumbo. Look at the pigs. No, talk to the kid. Sorry, but I'll only talk to Banjo or Kazooie. Sorry, but I'll only talk to Banjo or Kazooie. God. Okay, what is this? Hold on. Wave racer here. Higher. I swear I can read. I swear I'm literate. Oh. Hey dude, what's wrong? Tell Mumbo. You only trust Mum or Banjo, that's fair. I understand that. He is your friend and helped you out in the first game, so hey. Turtle View Cave, yes! Man, this view sucks. This Mumbo vision sucks. Mumbo, you're too short. Mumbo, you are way too short, dude. Wait, don't you like doggy paddle whenever you're in the water? Yeah. Look at that. Look at this. Then he just sits there like this. Oh, I love it. Alright, here we go. Watch this. Watch this bullshit. Hope this works. Sunlight. Oxygenated water. Hey, sun. Look at this. Mumbo can just do that. Mumbo shine big light on water. Now has plenty of oxygen. Bear and bird not need to hold breath in there now. He can just do that. Mumbo can just do that. This is ridiculous. Hoop. Hoop. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't swim. You don't know how to dive. Wait, what is that? Sorry, Mumbo. Just did that to his house. Oh, I need a... Hi! First and foremost, I need to learn how to, get Kazooie to hatch eggs. Because she doesn't know how to be a mother, and that's understandable. She kinda doesn't need to. Every so often I look into the other tabs that I have open and it's just like, I am here now by Neil Breen. Oh, I could. Look at this. Damn. Damn. Missed it. Alright, Jam Jar. Teach me. Teach me your tricks. Oh, wing whack. Defend yourself now with your wings. Okay. Yes. Alright. So you don't give me that, but hey, this is incredibly useful. Cause he's right. I have lost the safety of Banjo. Okay, there we go. No, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one like that. Oh, let me do that again. Hold up there again. No, Banjo? Hey, Banjo? Like, I thought I was gonna fall and I got a little upset. Is there anything up here on the roofs over here? No, okay. What are you, dude? Why are you over here? What do you mean, Skull Beach, Speech Skull? What do you mean, dude? Why would you say this to me? What in the world? Oh, there's something in the grates. Ow. Lord. Yeah, I hear you, dude. This place. Man, I want that. Can't keep getting away with this. Thanks, giant teddy bear. Now our water is crystal clear. Is it? Is it though? Oh Lord! No! Get me out of here. Can't wait till we get to Quagmire Bay. Or whatever it is. It's Quagmire something. How's my phone, everybody? Can you fucking believe this? I've got a phone. Oh, he oxygenated all the water in the entirety of Jolly Roger Bay. Bruh. Still got the temperature problem to sort out though. What was wrong with the temperature? Was it like too hot or something? Or was it too cold? Bro, tell me what is it? Warm the water up, okay. Hey. Hey. Goodbye. I guess goodbye. I gotta be the rave racer, I guess. Oh wait, hold on. Speaking of wave racer. I don't even think it's the wave racer, is it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? I would continue to press the wrong button. Every time. And that's a promise. Hey. How you going, me hearties? Been a hard day, really. Aye. These adventures are still all the same. So many places to go and things to find. Beats standing around, though. How's business, Blubbergut? Not good, landlubbers. All me wave racers are shipwrecked, and the last one was eaten by a fish yesterday. Perhaps we can lend you a doubloon or two. Nah, shipmates, but I will sell you me last possession for just one doubloon. How about it, me hearties? You want my last possession for one doubloon? Aye. How are you? Yes, good and Banjie. Have a look inside this here crate. Thanks, shipmates. I'll be off to Jolly Rogers for their quiz night. Having a fine new flying machine. No, okay. His last possession. Some shoes. He'd be like that. Can I get in there? No, not yet. Wait, yeah, I can. Right. There we go. Inside the UFO. Hello. Greetings, feeble earthlings. Wow, real aliens. Are any of you called Elvis? No. Or Alf, Betty, and Gammo. I'll send a bit of a fix. Let me guess. Yeah, you need a phone home? No. We have a cell phone for that. Driving into our ship has run out of fuel. It's powered by crystallized ice, but we don't have any. I'm sure we'll be able to sort something out. Look at this one. No, I want to talk to you. Our ship has run out of fuel. We have no ice to power it. Oh hey, hello little fella. Oh my god. Okay, so you say the same thing. Look at it. I can't get back up. The poor Minjo can't get back up. Where's the exit? Hold on. There it is. Found it. Got it. Oh shit. Here we go, everybody. Oh, I want that. Hey, give that to me, dude. Oh lord, I cannot control Kazooie. There we go. Hey! Hey! Or was I supposed to do it in a... No, it's a specific order, okay. Okay, not you first. I'm gonna brute force this. I think I always brute force this one too. Something tells me it's this one. Just a weird feeling. Hold on. No, okay. Gotta start all over. Is that you next now? No, okay. See, look, you can just brute force anything if you put your mind to it. Like I have done just now. Okay, something else. All right. I don't want to do that. Your science teacher has an organ trail meme in her PowerPoint. Hey, can you share that with me? Okay, so it's... Bruh, you have died of dysentery with a picture of a covered wagon. Oh my god. That's a good one though. God, this is gonna make me sick. Wavy, then triangle, triangle. Okay, everybody, are you do it. I don't even want to do this one. I remember nothing but pain and suffering from this one, but we gotta do it. If we want to 100% the game, we've gotta do it. I'm not 100%ing the game. Temple of the Fishes. Hey, who are you, dude? Actually, it's crispy bacon. Oh, I see. You've got a Game Boy with a Game Boy camera attached to it. Can't believe this dude's just gotta... Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the fire eggs since I have unlimited of them. I'll be ready. Can't believe this. Hate these fucking aiming controls. What the fuck? I do too. Never a little bit hard. Please try harder next time. Yeah. You'll lock the cursor in the center or give free aim, you animals. I'm sure this will be the best place, huh? Oh my god. Yeah, I do. It's just flip-flopping everywhere. Yeah, the sensitivity is also incredibly high, and I can't fix that. Motherfucker coming down here with a goddamn Game Boy camera. Yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna do this one. I'm tired. I'm already exhausted from this. Hold on. Options, configure the controller real quick. Give me a bit. Oh, this isn't working. Oh no, this is even worse. This is even worse. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting the best for this. Only the best for this one. Is this hey, is this considered cheating? If so, I don't care. For this, I don't care. Also enabled the auto turbo, pardon. I can't do this either. Okay, so I gotta continue with figuring out the controller. Hold on. Yeah, I do. Hold on, I think I did. The controls are still fucking inverted. Hey. Hey everybody! I'm back! Hey everybody, I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry, I accidentally hit the stop streaming button. Who would have guessed that would have happened? Oh my god! Well, let me... Oh lord. No. Don't say this shiny thing is staying in your shorts. Okay, so Michael, you've sent me something. You've sent me something that is relevant. And Michael, I hate the fact that you fucking sent this to me. Hey Michael, delete that. Hey Michael, delete this. Michael, you need to delete this right now. Don't make me fucking call you. Get you in the call. Man, this is wild. Twitch is now telling me I have 0 viewers whenever I know that's not the case, and I hope that's just a glitch because otherwise it's gonna fuck up the average viewer count. And I'd rather it not do that. Is there any way I could check that, or do I have to? Let me refresh the page. Don't type anything right now. You sound fake angry, so I assume you're talking to me. Twitch died from a— yeah, because I accidentally hit the stop streaming button while doing all of that. Okay. Yeah, it said, it was like, hey, you've got like 4 to 6 viewers on average here and there. And then it was like 0 views. It's like, that's not right. I know that's not right for a fact. Because I've been chatting with more people than that today. There have been more people than 0 talking to me today. How do you guys feel about water levels? this dude? This dude's been trapped down here forever. These guys have been trapped down here forever. Are you a bastard? No, you're not. Oh my god, you are. I had plenty of time. Bye. Oh, hi. So that's only to like change your banjo and kazooie. Make you feel wet from tears. Yeah, water levels have never been done right. Oh hey, I want that. No, get away from me. Oh my god. Get away. Oh my god. Probably have to be like kazooie or something. It's okay. I don't need it right now, so that's okay. So what else are we doing here, huh? Can't wait to go fight in Jolly Roger's casket or whatever. His locker. Davy Jones' locker, pardon. I'll remember sometimes. Shut up. Oh. This man controls the eggs. Oh my god. You're wigwam. Dude. Bro, you're just sitting in the water. You're gonna get soaked. Oh, sorry, tiger. Bruh. You're gonna get fucking soaked. No, I just want to practice some moves. Alright everybody, did you catch that? Because you gotta remember that. Oh my god, why is it only in my fucking left ear? Hey everybody, is this only in your left ear as well? It's only in my fucking left ear, and that's atrocious. So, was that the entrance? Yeah, that's the entrance. Hey, can I, yeah. Okay, good. It's not just me. Ah! I don't think that's where I want to be. Anyway. Is it? It's just in there. Yeah, I want to be down there, I guess. Hey. That's right. That's right, got him. What do you mean I need to be kazooie? Come all the way down here with the submarine and I have to be kazooie? Oh my god, I cannot believe this. The audacity of this video game. That's only my right ear. So we got W. Bryan, C. Sutherland. Ow! I'm trying to read. Gmails. K. Connell. Romanum. Alicia. Paulington. Malpass. Doesn't seem that Briggs got his due here. Let me in here so I can fight. Just want to fight. Not to my left here again. Hey Banjo, I can see a chickie down there. Let's take a look. Just kidding. Ooh, fact, self-important anglerfish. She's beautiful. Lord Woo fact. Oh, he sleeps. There we go. A watery grave awaits you. Okay, where are them boils? Pretty sure I can do this. It's just normal Banjo too, right? Yeah. Can you turn around a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Okay. No, I don't have turbo on anymore. As a heads up. Here we go. Look at that, that's blood, dude! My precious boils! I'm gonna get hit. Oh no. Look at this. This is a mean fight. Like, you just come into his house and beat him up. Oh, you're not turning around just yet. I thought you were turning around to fight. Hey. Hey, is this nauseating for anybody else? It's a little nauseating, ain't it? Ooh, have you no sympathy? Hitting a poor blind fish. Time I open my eyes to see what I'm doing. Honey, that's a bad idea. I've got no mercy. Please, not my eyes. How's the boss fight? How's it look? It's in my left ear, is how the boss fight's going. Curses, things seem to have gone belly up. 100 years of oceanic tyranny brought to an undignifying end. I think I want to end the stream right here because it's been a good run. It's been a good run and I can feel myself getting pooped out. I'll just have to remember that we were in Jolly Roger's Bay and doing nothing in particular. Okay, so the year's 3000. Mankind still has not figured out how to make a good water boss fight. 3D water boss fight at least. Yeah, at least there's that. We haven't done that. Where's the end screen? Here's the end screen. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I know you can still hear the game. I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm gonna save and quit though. So I hope you had a fun stream. Like I did. I did have fun. Not as much fun as last time because I was sharing all kinds of weird stories. But you know. It was nice hanging out here. It's a shame about that one thing where I accidentally hit the stop streaming button. And accidentally stopped streaming. But you know, that's how it goes. But I hope you have had a good time and I hope you have a good night. Later, everybody.